Greetings, thinkers and drinkers, and welcome to this another installment in our look at the Motörhead catalog. Now, after the Let Us Be Kind, after the indistinct rock and roll album, something a little special was needed, I think, and a few things happened. Firstly, Lemmy relocated to America, where he was to spend the rest of his days not on tour or in a recording studio somewhere. He moved to LA within stumbling distance of the Rainbow Bar and Grill and a lot of his free time. They'd also, I think, changed the record company and they signed to WTG, which was, maybe still is, a subsidiary of the Sony label. They got up in the world. This is major label interest. Perhaps because of that, they ultimately settled on Pete Solly to do the production. They did start with another producer, but Lemmy quickly decided he was not up to the job. He was interfering too much. Brave man. But Solly does a fine job here, and this is certainly a very fine sounding Motörhead album. Oh, the one we're about to discuss, which I'm sure there's no point keeping this a mystery. You already know it is 1916, released in 1991. This actually got critical acclaim. Something you can't say for every Motörhead record. It's a really cohesive effort, and it is, for Motörhead, a very diverse effort. And put simply, it's brilliant. It is one of their finest ever recordings. It also would turn out to be the last album to fully feature Filthy Animal Taylor. But we pick that story up more when we discuss the follow-up. It seems like the move to America maybe had given Lemmy a bit of a creative kick. I don't know. Maybe his new surrounds it inspired him to some extent. Certainly, I think being picked up by what for them would be a major label was certainly a boost. But this is Motörhead, and things are never plain sailing for too long, are they? However, all that is by the by. What exactly did they produce this time around? Well, the album starts, and after, say, Rock and Roll, the title track, probably their weakest opening number to date, they're back on fine form here with kickoff songs, with opening songs, and the one to sing the blues. This is a classic Motörhead opener. It's fast, it's hard, but there's a really good musical dynamics going on in here, and it's they played it live often enough. It's a really great song, and the album's off to an absolutely cracking start. Okay, they follow it up with "I'm So Bad," which is a typical Motörhead song. It's a classic Motörhead rocker. You know, it's a foot to the floor. It's heavy. It's fast. It's got a great hook to it. And the lyrics are just pure Lemmy. You know, the opening line, I make love to mountain lions. How can you possibly go wrong with that? Poetic, even. Third song, No Voices in the Sky, it's got an absolutely great riff. It's heavy, yet it's still melodic. Something that started on Another Perfect Day with Brian Robertson, but as I said at the time, they would continue to incorporate this into their music going forward. There's no let up here, but this is a fantastic song. It's actually got a huge hook to it, really catchy. Would not have been out of place as a single, yet there's no way is this a cop-out. There's no way a commercial track. It's just a skill they're developing here. I think they always had it, but they're refining it here. This is a catchy, bloody song. You can't deny it. And this album is off to a fantastic start. And there's absolutely no let up with Going to Brazil. Short and to the point, this is rock and roll in true Motörhead style. It's so much fun, and yet there's no drop off in quality here. It's an absolute band classic. Okay, Nightmare, the Dream Time. This is a change of pace and a change of mood. Another great riff. It's a very menacing track. It's subtle. There are keyboards on it, keyboards on a Motörhead track. And no, the world did not spin off its axis. It works. It's subtle, but it adds atmosphere to it, as keyboards should, unless you're Deep Purple. It really works here. This is new. They're treading new ground here. I know Lemmy would probably not agree, but this is very much them in their heavy metal phase. This is not them in their high octane rock and roll phase. But it's a great song. Much more difficult to make a slower song interesting, I think. Here they make it very interesting indeed. It's a great track. Follow it with Love Me Forever, which I suppose I say with tongue in cheek. This is the ballad of the album. It's a slower paced song, but that does not dilute the heaviness of it. And this is a really mature song. This is really well crafted. And as is true of the album as a whole, there's some great playing on it, especially some great guitar playing. And there's great playing by everybody through it, but some noticeably good solos on this album, and this song is no exception. And it's another belter. And I like it for it is that change of pace. And they can do it. They can explore slightly different territory with success. They follow this up with perhaps the most commercial song on the album, and I say that not just because it's really catchy, but if you listen to it, this is one where the producer has got, I think there's some horns quietly in the background, things like that. But Angel City, it is the most commercial song on the album. It is the most catchy song on the album, but it is not in no way can this be described as a sellout. You know, it's more proof. We're proof needed that behind the blood and thunder, these guys can actually write fucking good songs. This, I don't think it was, but this should have been the single. Because, again, it's still very, very recognizably Motörhead. But it just had that, it could have caught on. I don't think it was the single, but never mind. Okay, we pick up the pace again with Make My Day. This is another one, foot to the floor. This is, for those that don't know the band, apart from Ace of Spades and Bomber and stuff like that, you play them, they know exactly who it is. It's a great song. On any of the weaker albums, the previous album, for example, this would have been by far the standout track. It is really good. It's just that the standard of this album is so high. It comes in as just, not an also ran by no means. But yeah, again, it's more strong stuff. You can't deny it. They follow that with Ramones, which is 126 seconds of pure fun. You've all heard it. You all love it, I suppose. It's a great song, always good fun. And Shut You Down is another, similar perhaps to Make My Day. It's another typical full throttle Motörhead assault. Not the most, it's not as creative as some of the other things here on show here, but it's very much them doing what they traditionally do best. And I have to say, thus far, they can do no wrong. And then you come to the title track. This really is treading new ground for the band. They never went back to anything like this. It's like a single military drum beat with some strings, or I think it's probably synthesizers in the background. It is effectively a lament. But it has that military feel to it. It's very slow and very moving, funereal almost. Where Lemmy sings about the experience of a soldier in the First World War. I think he said it was inspired by the Battle of the Somme, which, when you listen to the lyrics, yes, that makes a lot of sense. Great poet, Lemmy, often undervalued as a lyricist. Okay, he has written some weird stuff, and sometimes I got a feeling he did, on a few songs, he just did anything that rhymed. Probably they were running out of studio time while the bar was about to open. But not here, not on this album as a whole. And most certainly not here. This is poignant. This is moving. And he delivers a vocal performance worthy of it. And they would never return to this this type of song. Maybe having done it this well, might be a difficult act to follow. Being that it's a one-off, yeah, no doubt, I suppose, adds to its luster, adds to its reputation. But it's an amazing end to an amazing album. And there you have it. This is, again, if you ask me what my favorite Motörhead album is, one of the answers you'll get is Another Perfect Day. But this is very much another answer that I will give to that question. And perhaps listening to it now, as I just did prior to making this video, it has perhaps surpassed a little bit Another Perfect Day. There is not a weak moment on this. Comes in at just over 35 minutes or something, the original album, and it kicks ass from start to finish. Very well produced, extremely strong songwriting, extremely good playing. Everything just, the stars aligned on this one. And it was something of a success in Motörhead terms. When one thinks back to some of the other insipid and vacuous shit that was selling by the millions in 1991. Yeah. This wasn't, unfortunately, selling by the millions, but it was, in Motörhead terms, something of a commercial success. And, horror of horrors, was nominated for a Grammy, which it ultimately did not win, thankfully. They didn't need that sort of stain on their reputation, did they? But at least some acknowledgement after all these years of trying. Again, yeah, this is certainly after the this is the third album with the new lineup with Wurzel and Phil Campbell on guitar. They started pretty well with Orgasmatron. They dropped the ball on rock and roll, but no, this, I think, is the first time that the twin guitar attack, if we can describe them that way, really stamped their own voice and their own authority on a record, and it is an absolute gem, a belter. I love it. Loved it since the first time I heard it, and the years have not diminished it. Well, there you have it. It's a good return to form. I really do think they needed it. They might have been in trouble had they produced something as lackluster as rock and roll again, but they didn't. And we will pick up the story next time when they follow it up. Ah well, and as we'll see, nothing's ever easy in Motörhead land. But until then, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Too much? Was it too commercial? Some people said it was. I never saw that, to be honest with you. I really don't. I just, as I've said, this is some of the best written and recorded material they've ever produced. It is one of my all-time favorites. So, whatever you think, like, subscribe, comment, all those good things, share. I thank you for your indulgence. Be well, and until next time, my chonkier.